What's poppin', everybody? This is Saberwolf24, and welcome to the revival of Pokemon sets from past formats. This is a series where I talk about sets from past sets. We did the DP series, 4th generation stuff, all the hard gold sets as well. And I wasn't going to do 3rd gen, but hey, fuck it. We're going to try our best. Even though I don't know everything, we should be pretty good. I'm going to start with we're going to do this in order this time. I'm going to do all the EX series sets in order and take our time. We're going to start, of course, with EX Ruby and Sapphire. Started the Golden Age, the first set, the Golden Age of Pokemon. And this one's kind of easy. I know a lot of good cards from this set. I know a little bit more than the other sets. So I guess let's start with the best cards. Let's start with the best cards. So definitely Blaziken. This might be the best card in here. Was great for a long time. So it's in the beginning too. So Blaziken, a stage 2 Pokemon, 100 HP. Doesn't seem like much, but it was decent. It was okay for back then, especially when you consider this guy has a very powerful Poke Power, and that is Fire Starter. And wow, fucking motorcycle, damn. But yeah, this is basically like the OG Dynamotor shit. Fire Starter, once during your turn before you attack, you can attach a fire energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. And of course, since this is old school shit, you can't use the power if this guy is affected by a special condition. But this was very, very good. Uh, you could power up, of course, this guy, Blaziken. It has a solid attack. We're going to look at it. And later on, we got Rayquaza EX from the EX Dragon set. And then Blaziken EX came out too. And just in general, this sort of energy acceleration shit has always been good. It's great. There's a good ways to ditch energies too. You guys are gonna see it in this set as well. Will Delcat and shit. And it's just a great, great Pokemon. Fire Steam, it does 50 for 3, and you discard a fire energy attached to Blaziken. You're forced to do that, I think. Oh no, you may discard maybe. And if you do, this attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So spread was more crucial back then. Things were slower, and there wasn't a lot of ways to mass heal and shit maybe, especially back then. So it's a good little attack. It's gonna add up if you have if your opponent has a big bench, and the discarding doesn't really matter since you can get energies for free with this guy. So Blaziken, very, very good. This card got reprinted in EX Power Keepers. So yeah, immediately a great card from EX Ruby. Next up is Delcatty. This was another very good Pokemon that I know was good. With Energy Draw, once during your turn, before you attack, you may discard an energy from your hand and you draw up to 3 cards from your deck. And yeah, this can't be used if you're affected by a special condition, the usual shit. But this is pretty good. It's not exactly Claydol, but it's still good. It needs a specific requirement, discard an energy. But it's straight draw 3. Very good power, man. Is the type of power you use on a support Pokemon like this. Very nice. And when EX Ruby came out and this Delcatty came out, the 3 e-reader sets, Skyridge, Expedition, and Aquapolis, I believe, yeah, they were still available, they were still legal. And there's a card in Skyridge called Oracle, which was a supporter. And you basically, it's like Mallow, basically. You do basically the Zoroark GX play we do nowadays. Oracle, you select 2 cards, any 2 cards from your deck, and you put them on top of your deck. So with Delcatty, basically you can do this shit. You discard an energy, and you draw 3, and you were going to draw the 2 cards you put on top, and you get a free card too. So consistency shit. I mean, even if you don't use the Oracle shit, this card was very good. Obviously, you can see the synergy with Blaziken. You discard energies, and then you can grab them back with that dude. And consistency. And max energy source does 10 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your active Pokemon. So this means if you had another active Pokemon for double battles. One of the other things in the EX series that started with Ruby and Sapphire is that you can play the game and have 2 active Pokemon, like a double battle sort of thing. I thought you could do this with, it was like a 2-on-2 player, but no, it's a 1-on-1 player, like like usual, but you just have 2 active Pokemon. So it adds a new layer of synergy and strategy and all that good stuff. So either way, uh, it basically does times 10 for each energy on this dude if you're playing alone, I believe. But it's still a solid attack, I guess, since this is a support Pokemon. If you put a lot of energies with Blaziken on this, I guess you can attack. But energy draw was the main thing for this Pokemon. And this card was also reprinted in EX Power Keepers, the reprint set, last set. Alright, next up, Gardevoir, of course. And man, the art on these cards is just perfect, lovely. Like even cards that I normally hate, like the bugs and shit, they even look good. Like that Dustox doesn't look half bad. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, Gardevoir, original concept art, very beautiful Pokemon, very great card in general. The original Gardevoir, very strong for the time. So 100 HP once again, not the greatest, but it wasn't complete shit either, especially when you have a powerful attack and power. Psy Shadow, once during your turn before you attack, you can search your deck for a psychic energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. And then you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, and yeah, basically that's it. So grabs energies from the deck. The 2 damage counters is very significant, especially if you consider that uh, Pokemon, they've got a lot less HP. I mean, if you, let's say you want to do this on Gardevoir, it's going to be at 80, and that's rough. But Energy Burst does 10 damage times the total amount of energy attached to Gardevoir and the defending Pokemon. So your good old Gardevoir GX, old school original shit. Standard stuff, man, good stuff. Uh, Mewtwo, X-Ball, Yveltal, all this shit. If they have more energies on, you do more damage. And if you have more energies on, you add the damage too. So if your opponent had, let's say, 2 energies on and you had 2, you do 40, I guess, for 2. And if they have more, you do more. And if you have more, you do even more. So it's not the greatest. I mean, maybe if it was times 20, it would have been better, but that actually was going to get crazy. So times 10 is the right number. Was still very strong. If you pile up a bunch of energies on this thing, especially against your opponent, they would usually have a bunch of energies on too. That's how it was back then. Pokemon didn't really attack with 1 energy and be great. So you were going to do solid damage, very good damage, unlimited damage potential. That's the important thing. Very, very nice. The ability, of course, the power is good. Grab a Psychic Energy for free every turn. And you might put this to something else, I guess, and heal. Very, very nice. Okay, so these are the Pokemon that I know were good. Well, we got Swampert too. I know this guy's good as well for my top 10 Swampert cards. So Swampert, 110 HP, 3 retreat. So this guy's HP is a little better, and he has a very good power as well. Water Call. This is basically Rain Dance, but you can only do this, you can only attach 1. So you can attach water energy from your hand to your active Pokemon too. You have that condition. But trust me, back then, even with this mini effect, it is great. I mean, later on, Blastoise EX came out and had the unlimited shit. You can play as many, but that was an EX Pokemon, and it even put damage on you, dude. So this was very good. Hypno Splash, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. 50 for 4, not the greatest, but you have that auto sleep too, and since you have your power to help you help provide yourself the energies and shit. It's not bad. Self-sufficient, what I'm trying to say. Very great art once again, man. This card, I believe, in the English set, this set, it wasn't originally in. I think it was a promo or something, or came from a special kit or what have you, and they added this, I think. Or maybe this is the actual original Swampert card from this set, and then they added the theme deck one too. I'm not sure, but one of the Swamperts, it's a bonus how it was in the English set. I think it's this one, not sure. But very good card, the first Swampert card. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so what else? Sepidal 2. I think you have some shit. Yeah. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a grass energy attached to one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. So this is the Aromatisse Energy Trance Poke Power for grass. So yeah, the starters, I think it started with the second generation, perhaps. I think Meganium did some of this shit at Typhlosion. Feraligatr did his own thing, kind of, but they had this energy sort of powers abilities. Swampert lets you attach more. This guy lets you move it around. Blaziken grabs them from your discard pile. So yeah, Sceptile was probably the weakest, but it's a good ability. It's just that I don't think the necessary cards were released yet to take advantage of this. There wasn't stuff like Max Potion. At best, you can use Mr. Briney's Compassion, which is like an AZ supporter, a scoop up supporter kind of thing. And his attack, Tail Wrap, is a coin flip attack. You flip 2 coins, 50 damage times the number of hits. I guess on average you do 50 for 3. Just okay, not anything great. It's got the water resistance too. That can be handy, I suppose. And I guess if you get 2 heads, then you're doing great damage for 3. But yeah, good ability, good power for Sceptile. We got the regular Swampert here. This guy basically heals himself every time you attach a water energy. So it can act like a mini tank. Water arrow, nice attack, I guess, 1 for 20 snipe, and then you can do 50 eventually. Not as good as the other Swampert, but something, I guess. This was in the theme deck too. So as far as I'm concerned, those are the super important cards. I mean, I guess there's this slacking too, and we got to talk about the other hollows as well, actually. I remember this guy is going to get reprinted too, from what I've seen in the Champion Road. With Lazy, as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon can't use any Poke Powers. So pretty great ability. 120 HP, as good as you can ask for back then from this dude. And critical move, it does 100 for 4. And you discard a basic energy attached to slacking, and you can attack next turn, period, not just use this attack. 100 for 4 is pretty good, even with the discarding. The fact that you can attack next turn is kind of annoying, but this Pokemon is good for the ability. I mean, I guess maybe you want to kind of get him out of the way next turn so that you don't miss a turn of attacking. I mean, if there's a way to use Memory Barrier, do stuff like that, I'm not sure. I think one of the Slackots can do stuff like that. Who knows? I know for a fact they can do this in the DP era with Flail and shit. But Lazy is definitely a good Pokebody. As long as it's active, you block your opponent's powers. It's pretty strong. Maybe a little bit more HP just because it's slacking. But back then, the cap was 120. Nobody went over that. Even things like Blissey and Wailord. Anybody that went over that was an EX Pokemon. Pretty sure. We'll find out along the way, now that I'm reviewing the EX sets. But slacking, the concept art, very nice too. So this is the rare hollow Sceptile, and it's actually, I guess, the one that doesn't have a power. So what does it do? So 120 HP, very, very good. 3 retreat, this is actually kind of sad. For me, when I think of Sceptile, I'm thinking 1 or 3 retreat. That's how it should be. But there's actually a lot of Sceptile cards with big retreats. Fucking boss or some shit, man, anyway. Yeah. So Lizard Poison. If 1 energy is attached to Sceptile, the defending Pokemon is now asleep. If 2 energy is attached to Sceptile, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. If 3, the defending Pokemon is asleep and poisoned. And if 4 or more, the defending Pokemon is asleep, burn, and poison. So cool. So it's going to do 1 for 20. And with sleep, if you have 2, then it becomes 2 for 20 and poison. If you got 3, it's I guess 3 for 20, 20 for 3 in poison and sleep. Alright, I guess. And 4 or more, it's a sleep, burn, and poison. Okay, so not bad, not bad. I guess you gain those additional effects building up for it. You can start doing attacking immediately with Lizard Poison. And when you get 5, you can do 70 with Solar Beam. Now, 5 for 70 isn't that great, if you ask me. There's other Pokemon that can do like 100 for 5. I mean, they're EX Pokemon, I think. But I believe Golem can do 100 total for 5 energy in EX Dragon, although it's in spread damage too. It does like 60 and then does 20 to 2 more, something like that on the bench. So it's a big ass attack. If you got it going, 70 wasn't that bad with no cost, but it's too big, so I don't think it's that great of an attack. There were better stuff for sure. Very good holographic art, however. Okay, so let's look at the other holo Pokemon. Since I'm here, we got Aggron. I know this card isn't very good. All of its attacks are pretty mediocre. Mega Punch doing 40 for 3, not that good. Retaliate would have been a good attack, but you have to flip a coin. It's basically Flail. The more damage it has on, you do times 10 the damage you have on, but you have to flip heads. That's not good. And Double Lariat, it's a coin flip attack. You flip 2 and you're going to do 70 times the number of heads. Now, I guess on average you're going to do 70, I suppose, 70 for 5. So it's like the Sepatol attack, so not that great. If you get 2 heads, you're doing 140 for 5, which is amazing. You're knocking out anything. So that's good. But that's, I mean, it's a coin flip, so not that amazing. Next we got Beautifly. I have to confess, this is a pretty looking card, even though I don't like bugs. And Withering Dust, this Pokemon's body. As long as Beautifly is in play, you don't apply resistance for active Pokemon. And it has Stun Spore, 1 for 20, coin flip if heads paralyzed. And Parallel Gain is a 3 for 50 attack, and remove 1 damage counter from all of your Pokemon, including Beautifly. Now, it's decent. Has a bunch of decent stuff, so it would have been a decent Pokemon if it just had a little bit more HP. 80 HP is just too fucking low. This is a stage 2 Pokemon. It doesn't have a retreat, but it's still too damn low. Now, if it was 100, fine. I mean, even 90, it could use the 10 extra, even that. But 80 is just too fucking low. Even if you heal yourself when you attack, too damn low. Too damn low if you ask me. Okay, Camerupt, cool guy, concept art, very, very nice. So this is a stage 1 Pokemon, 90 HP. So this is actually very good, as you guys can see. Better than Beautifly. And Lava Burn, you choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, does 10 damage to that dude, and you do 20 to the active. So 30 for 2, standard I guess. Nothing special, but nothing too shit either. And Fire Spin, you discard 2 basic energy cards attached to Camerupt, or this attack does nothing, and it's going to do 100 for 4 though. So this is very, very good. Very, very strong actually. 4 energy, you do 100, you discard 2, but 100 is going to kill almost anything. That's very, very high. Perfect synergy with Blaziken from the same set, obviously. Those cards went together. I'm pretty sure when this set came out, that was like a top deck Blaziken. Even before Rayquaza came out and Blaziken EX, Camera was probably used with Blaziken. You would use this combo. Makes perfect sense. Nice. I mean, it's a stage 1 Pokemon too, so it won't be that slow to get out. But I mean, you had time to set up back then. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Good shit. I feel like even later on, this might not be that bad, actually. Okay, next up, Dustox. Yeah, even an ugly, disgusting Pokemon like this, with this holographic art, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's still shit to me, because I hate these bugs, but yeah. Protective Dust. Prevent all effects of attacks except damage done to Dustox by the attacking Pokemon. So you block all effects, okay. Gust is just 50 for 3, and then Toxic. It's a poison attack. You poison the opponent for 2 energy, but you put 2 damage counters instead of 1. Simple shit. It is also a stage 2 Pokemon, but it has 90 HP, so that's actually better. I mean, they have the same stats, and it's not necessarily, the shit it does is not necessarily better than, or worse, I guess, than Beautifly. So Beautifly should have had 10 more, I feel like. Anyway. Hariyama. If it's going to show us the art, you got Super Slap Punch. does 20 damage to each defending Pokemon. So basically what this means is that if your opponent, like I've said, if they're playing two Pokemon, it doesn't mean you hit yourself. You just hit your opponent's second Pokemon too if they're playing that. And Mega Throw, this is the EX hate that we've seen. We've seen with GX Pokemon. We saw with the X Pokemon with things like Bouffalant and Dragon's Exalted. This is like the OG shit. What started it all. Mega Throw does 40 damage, but if the defending Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, it does 40 more, so 80 for 3. Very, very good. Just gonna kill them. Alright. Got my neck trick. Search your deck for a lightning energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards, and Thunder Jolt 50. And if it tells you flip a coin, it does 10 damage to yourself. Okay, that's not that good. 50 for 3 isn't that special anyway. You got Maniana, the original one. Cool as fuck. Intimidating Fang, as long as Mightyena is your active Pokemon, any damage done to your Pokemon by an opponent's attack is reduced by 10. So this applies to your bench too. So if they decide to hit your bench, you block that too. That's how it works. And Shakedown, you do 40 for 3 and you flip a coin. If heads, you choose one card from your opponent's hand and you discard it without looking. Decent stuff. And you got the original Wailord, a stage 1 Pokemon with 120 HP. Motherfucker. And he's kind of decent, I guess, too. I mean, takedown is shit. You do 50 for 3 and you do 20 damage to yourself. You probably don't want to do that. But Surf, I guess, is the same attack Sabatal does on a stage 1. So if you build him up, you do 70 for 5 Surf. Cool. Original Wailord concept art as well. Another beautiful card. These cards are cool as fuck, man. Cool as fuck. You got the regular Blaziken. I guess I'll talk about you a little bit since I talked about the other guys. It has Clutch. If any Pokemon can retreat, you do 20. And Flamethrower, you do 80 for 4. You discard a Fire Energy attached to Blaziken. So I suppose if you wanted to do straight damage, you can use this actually along with the Firestarter Blaziken, the one with the ability that we talked about. And you basically have a deck. You don't even need to use Camerupt. Has 10 more HP too, even though this is the regular rare Blaziken. They made them kind of fair. I mean, this is a better attacker. Doesn't have the ability, but it's a better attacker. And has more HP. The retreat, I think, is the same. Not sure. Maybe the other one has 1. I don't remember. But Flamethrower 80 for 4, even with a discard, is very, very good. Alright. So, Breloom, what do? 20 for 2, and then you do 40 for 3, but 10 more for each fighting energy attached to Breloom. So I guess if you have 1 grass and 2 fighting on to meet the attack cost, you're doing 60 for 3, solid I guess, and you can even part it up more. Alright, and let's talk about, man, I want to talk about all these cards now. I just feel like if I don't talk about Donphan, it's unfair. If I don't talk about then Pelipper, it's unfair. But this Donphan, I think it's decent. A Rend, if the defending Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 20 damage plus 20 more. So 40 for 2. And double spin, flip 2 coins, does 60 times the number of heads. Okay, so it's not that good. Not good. Rend is decent, I suppose. And we got Nose Pass before it evolved. If any of your opponent's active Pokemon are evolved, you search your deck for any card, put it into your hand. Okay, so support guy if your opponent's active Pokemon is evolved. Alright, so man, it's just I gotta talk about Sharpedo, I gotta talk about Pelipper. It's just, man, we're supposed to talk about the best cards, but I want to talk about everything now. So Sharpedo has the rough skin, has this. We've seen this on this card many times. If it's active Pokemon and it's damaged, you put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. And wow, Dark Slash does 40 for 3. And if you discard a Darkness Energy on this dude, it does 70 for 3. Interesting. Alright, so I think it's about time. Man, I want to talk about the other guys too, but uh, we should talk about the EXs, the original EX cards, which are actually kind of shit, but doesn't change the fact they were the originals. I mean, look at these arts, man. Concept art for Torchic. We get 2 Torchics, 2 Tricos, and 2 Mudkips in here. Very, very nice, man. Very, very nice. I had the opportunity to buy a booster box of this, I think at around 250 bucks, but I was so fucking broke. I knew I wanted to buy it, but I missed that opportunity. I didn't have the money, and then I kind of took it for granted, maybe too. I thought, you know what, maybe it'll stay around like this for a while, but I was an idiot. But I didn't have the money when I was gonna buy it anyway, and yeah, I really just regret it. This set is like to get a box of this is like $1,000 for sure now. So 250 is like a steal, even though it's still very expensive, more expensive than what you should pay. Okay, so you get some interesting reprints too, like Energy Removal 2, which is basically you flip a coin. It's basically Crushing Hammer. Unfortunately, this is like the original version. Energy Switch, you got Lady Outing, Supporter. You search your deck for up to 3 different types of basic energy cards and you put them into your hand. So this is like not exactly like a lady that's going to be in Forbidden Light, but similar. It sucks that you have to get 3 different types, because then this would have been perfect for fucking the Delcatty Blaziken deck. Oh well. You got Lumberry. This is like a full heal that you attach it. Not that amazing. And Oranberry. At any time between turns, if your Pokemon has at least 2 damage counters on, remove 2 and then you discard Oranberry. So it kind of acts like the games, the berries and shit. You got Pokemon Reversal, original one I believe. Basically you flip a coin. If heads, your opponent switches his or her active Pokemon while her bench Pokemon. And I think they get to choose. Yeah. Alright. You got the Pokemon Navigator, Pokenav. You look at the 3 top cards of your deck. You choose a basic Pokemon, evolution card, or energy card. You put it into your hand. And you put the other 2 cards in the bottom of your deck. Oh no, in the top of your deck in any order. Not bad, not bad. Good card. It's actually better than Traino's Mail that we have. Because even though you reveal 3, you can grab more shit. I mean, okay, you can't grab a trainer, but you can grab a Pokemon or an energy card. So, okay, yeah, maybe it's not better than Trainer's Mount, but it's a good card. Got the Switch, I love this Switch. You get Rainbow Energy, you get the Darkness and Metal Energy, which were updated. I think this was the set where they got the updated effect, where Darkness Energy is just going to give 10 more if you attach it to a into a Dark Pokemon, and the Metal just blocks 10 damage if you attach it to a Metal Pokemon. I think this was the set where this happened. Alright, let's talk about the EXs now. So, original EX set, the first set, and we have a lot of EXs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them, wow. So these cards are kind of based off the Haymaker cards, or the big basic Pokemon in base set, and the original first 3 Pokemon sets, base set, jungle, and fossil. Basic Pokemon that were big, and since they don't evolve and could attack quick and shit, and they were good. Unfortunately, they weren't this good in this set. They thought, okay, you know what, if we're gonna bring these Pokemon back, we have to make them, you know, EXs, so they give 2 prizes if they're gonna do shit and not evolve, and we won't make them as good. They kind of wanted to make people use stage Pokemon and shit, but they kind of made them too weak. Thankfully, they realized quickly. So, for example, we got Chance EX. So, 120 HP EX basic Pokemon. So, the HP part is good. I think it's good. I mean, the original Chansey had 120 and was a regular Pokemon, but you know, it is what it is. It's not bad. It's still not bad. This was a different metagame. The problem is the rest of the shit. Healing Egg, you remove 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon, uh, but you don't do any damage, and you can't even heal Chansey. So that's pretty average, man. It doesn't even work with 1 energy. And Double Edge, 80 for 3. That's fine, but doing 60 to yourself is just too much. It's too much self-damage, man. It should have been a lot less. Should have been like, if not 30, at least 40, but not 60, man. 60 is just too fucking much. And even then, it's not a very good attack. Looks great though, of course. Then we got Electabuzz EX. All these cards are kind of shit, to be honest, the original EXs. Some are worse than others, but in general, they just, even like the basic, the original ones in base set and shit, minus maybe the HP part in some of the cards, they were just better. Like, for example, Electabuzz EX has 90 HP, so 20 HP more, but I think the retreat is bigger. I'm not sure if that guy had 2 as well. Got a mirror resistance, okay. And the attacks aren't all that great though. Thundershock is basically the same attack. You do 10 for lightning and you flip coin if heads paralysis. And then quick attack, you do 3 for 40 and you flip a coin if heads. It's going to do 20 more, so 60. So I guess this is decent, maybe? I don't know. If it was 50 and you flip a coin if heads 70, then yeah, maybe. Maybe he can get a pass, but as a decent card. But like this, I think it's still shit. Hitmonchan, this guy's definitely shit. I mean, you got Steady Punch. You flip a coin and if heads is going to do 20 for 1. Otherwise, it's just 10 for 1. Not good at all, man. The original Hitmonchan did 1 for 20. And Sky Uppercut, 50 for 3 and is not affected by resistance. So this is a better second attack. 50 for 3, I guess. Alright. Next we got Lapras. Man, this card saddens me. It looks so great, but not good, man. 110 HP, very, very nice. An Energy Ball does 10 damage, plus 10 more damage for each energy attached to Lapras, but not used to pay for the cost. So basically what you can do is you can do 20 for 2 or 30 for 3, and that's it. And that's not good at all, man. Yeah, kind of modeled after the original Lapras, of course, but it's not good. And Confuse Ray does 30 for 3, and the defending Pokemon is not confused. So I guess if you do get 3 energies on this dude, there's not even point to use the first attack anyway. So yeah, I just feel like these original EX cards are kind of a bad thing, a bad stain on the golden age of Pokemon, on the EX series. They just, in the past, they pissed me off even more. Now I kind of accept them, but I just feel like it's like they didn't put enough thought in them. Like, for example, Confuse Ray is going to be better than Energy Ball either way if you have 3 on, so yeah. Maybe they should have made Energy Ball work with at least 4 energies and shit. Still shit, but something, I don't know. Like, and Confuse Ray isn't even that great anyway. I mean, if it did 40 for 3 and you confuse, maybe, but there was just room for improvement. Magmar EX, man, this guy's also pretty shit. I just did the Magmar and Magmortar TCG overview recently, and this card is sad too. Cool, but shit. Smokescreen, the fucking Magmar does this from Fossil, same shit. And Super Cinch is 40 with burn. If it was 50 and you burn, then fine, but 40 and burn, mediocre, man, too mediocre. Scyther EX, this card is famous shit too. Only 80 HP for an EX, and doesn't do shit. It just does 3 for 50. Very, very shit. That's not special at all. And agility, just 10 for 1. And if you flip a coin, if heads, you prevent all damage. Yeah, not good. The worst part about this card, no free retreat. Come on, this is Scyther classic shit. I mean, I don't give a fuck about Scyther much because he's a bug dude, but you need to have free retreat, especially since you're in the X. So this was ridiculous. And Sneasel EX, Wow, based on the fucking fucked up ass Sneasel from Neo Genesis. Let's see, I think you might actually hold a candle maybe a little bit. So double scratch, you flip 2 coins. It's going to do 10 damage for each heads. So that's, okay, that's a shit attack, the first one. And beat 'em up, excuse me, you flip a coin for each of your Pokemon in play, including Sneasel EX. It's going to do 20 damage for each number of heads. So, each of your Pokemon in play. So that means if you have a full bench, yeah, that's 6. So on average, it's basically the same attack from the Neo Genesis Sneasel. Only difference is this guy is an EX, has a retreat cost, and has a weakness. And the beat up attack costs 1 more. You can still use the special darks and shit. So yeah. So he's not that useless only because Neo Genesis was so broken. The card this guy is based on. You can still do solid damage, I guess, if you get a bunch of heads. But he's still not that good. And oh shit, forgot about Mewtwo. How the fuck did we do that? I don't know why, but I forgot about this card. Almost skipped over it. So this might be the best one, people might say, from these guys, and that's not really saying much, but I guess compared from the other guys, it might be the best. Because it has 100 HP, so it's got the best HP. And Cyburn does straight 60 for 3. That's not that amazing, but there's no bullshit effects and shit, and shit damage. And honestly, Pokemon that did like 60 for 3, they would usually be like stage 2 Pokemon or maybe stage 1 Pokemon, some of them maybe. So yeah, maybe. It's not that bad. But the good thing is that it has energy absorption too, which you attach up to 2 energy cards from your discard pile to Mewtwo EX. So it's self-sufficient as well. So yeah, that's why he's the best one out of them, but it was still kind of shit. Man, weak to Psychic. Gardevoir was going to make quick work of this guy too, since it needs 3 to attack. Okay, so these are the EXs. They weren't really that great, but thankfully on the next set, things are going to get fixed. Professor Birch, I didn't talk about you, did I? Yeah, you draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So the original kind of, what's it called? Bianca, yeah, Bianca. Shit. Lily without the plus. So these are the cards. I mean, I could be here all day. I mean, I guess I'm going to talk about some of the other ones too. I know there's Swellow in here too. I did that on the TCG overview. Might as well talk about you. So this is the original Swallow card, and it's actually one of the best ones. The ones that came after it kind of became shittier. They just, some of them had some good stuff, but then it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So this one, 70 HP. It's okay for a stage 1. It has fighting resistance and free retreat too. Nice. 30 for 2 is okay. And the good thing on this Pokemon is drive off. Basically, if this is your active Pokemon, it's a war point basically. You switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon, and I think you may switch one. Yeah, your opponent gets to pick. I wanted to make sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it was, and yeah, your opponent gets to pick, so it's war point, but it's a useful effect. So nice Swallow card, but not perfect. Let me see here. Slack off. Do you have Flail? Let's see. I'm actually curious. No, this doesn't have one. What about you? Do you have anything like that? Oh yeah, okay, so you do have Rage. So if you're gonna use a slacking shit, you can use the Rage shit. I mean, yeah, the Memory Berry didn't come out in this set. I think maybe it's available from the not Skyridge, but one of the e-reader sets maybe. Who knows? But eventually we did get this in this era too. I think it came in Crystal Guardians much later on though. So you got this Manectric. Does 60 damage total with bench spread. Yeah, we could be here all day, man. I could be here all fucking day talking about these cards. Okay, let's do Pelipper too. Just because Okay, so 3 attacks. Wow, impressive. So this might be like the first Pokemon that has 3 attacks, actually. Cool. Didn't know this, so here's some trivia for you. Since this is the first Ruby set and I'm seeing you have 3 attacks, it might be the first guy, actually. So you do Stockpile. Spit up space damage is 70 instead of 30 next turn. And Swallow space damage is 60 instead of 20. Okay. And spit up is 30 for 2. Swallow is 20 for 3. And after your attack, you remove from Pelipper the number of damage counters equal to the damage you did to the Pokemon. Wow, okay, so you do this sort of use Stockpile and then use one of the other attacks, kind of like the video games. It might actually not be that shit in this set. I mean, other cards that do this later on, Swallow does this a lot later on. You just use the first attack to boost the second attack and shit, and it's not that good. This might be decent, I guess, since you heal too with Swallow. Decent, decent. Probably wasn't great, but decent. Okay, guys, so I think I should wrap this. Really excited. I think it shows in my voice. But yeah, I'm going to do the EX series. I decided reading the Jason Klaczynski articles, and if I read the cards and do my research and shit, I should be competent enough, qualified enough to talk about them. I missed out a lot of this era, so that's why I thought in the beginning, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I won't know what I'm talking about. That's why I did the DP shit, but I really just love the Pokemon sets from past format shit, so I decided to do this as well. I'm gonna do the EX series as well. So slowly but surely, we'll do things right. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Say Bro94, what's up?